Hello everyone, in this video I'll be explaining how to complete the Ngrams exercise. So this code at the beginning was copied from Dr. Goldie's original notebook with some minor modifications. So here we use the cd command that we used before in the lemmatizing exercise to move into the folder where Dr. Goldie keeps our data sets. Now we're going to read in the data set, and then we're going to clean it, and we're split it into words. The thing I had to add was this section here, because some of the novels have some like weird quotes like these that don't match the ones Python uses. So we had to add this code here to remove those. And because there was an issue before where some of the ngrams would just have like a lone quote as one of the words, which we don't want. So now we have our actual assignment here. So we're going to write a for loop that looks for bigrams, trigrams, and up to 9 grams in the Jane Austen novels. And we're going to use value counts to determine what the most used ngrams of the given size are, and we're going to count how many of each, how many ngrams of each size there are, and we're going to save the results of like all the counts in a list. So we're going to create our empty list here, counts to hold all the counts that we find. And we're going to do a range-based for loop here to loop through all the ngram sizes we want. And if you remember back in the for loops exercise, when you do a range-based for loop, the first number is inclusive and the second number is exclusive. This will loop from 2 to 9 because 10 won't be included. So we're going to create an empty list here to hold all of our ngrams. And we're going to loop through each novel in our data set here. And we're going to find all ngrams from the current novel of the given size, because we're saying n equals I, and I is the iteration variable we're using to loop through all of our sizes. And we're going to say, and for each ngram in our ngrams list, we're going to for each ngram in our list of ngrams that we found, we're going to split it into words. And we're going to create a string of all of those words like put together with separated by spaces. So we're going to create an empty string here. And we're going to loop through from 0 to I, because this will loop through each value in our list of words in the current ngram. I'm going to say our ngram 2 plus equals ngram sub k, which will add the word, and then we're going to put a space after. Now we're going to say ngram, and we're going to append that to our ngram list. So that will store all ngrams of the current size. And we're going to say our count is equal to the number of ngrams in that list. And we're going to append that to our counts list. Now we're going to print out I, which is the current size of the ngram, and then a space, and then the count for the number of ngrams of that size. And then we're going to say ngram counts, and we're going to set that equal to the value counts of our ngram list to determine what the most used ngrams of the given size are. And then we'll print the top 5 here, and then just an extra space for formatting purposes. So this is what it'll look like. So here it prints the current ngram size, so 2, and then the number of ngrams it found, approximately 124,000 bigrams here. And these are the top 5 most used bigrams. So to be, to the, in the, it was, and of her, and then these are the counts for them. And does the same thing for ngram size 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So now for the next part of the exercise, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to use stop wording. And so we're going to remove all ngrams that have a stop word in them. So first we need to import our stop words and create our list of all the stop words. I'm going to reset our counts list here. And then we're going to do the same for loop, and you can just copy the same cell from before, because we can just edit that version with a few minor changes to properly remove stop words. So we're going to add this valid equals true here. This is just creating a Boolean variable to keep track of if this is a valid ngram we want to keep or not. So inside of this for loop, where we're looping through the words in our current ngram, we're going to add this if here. say if the current n-gram is in stop words, or if the current word in the n-gram is in stop words, and then that means we don't want to keep this n-gram. So we'll set valid equal to false, and it'll say break, which means end this loop and jump to the end of the loop, which is here. So then we'll say if valid, which means this was never triggered and there were no stop words, then we'll append it to our list of n-grams. And then this is the same as before. So then here are the new results. So as you can see, the number of n-grams we found is a lot smaller. It's around 19,000 here, where it's about 124,000 before. And these are the top n-grams of each size that were found here. So as you can see, when you get to like 4 or 5 and above, there are only like 1 or 2 of like the most used n-grams. So these are only appearing once, so they aren't as meaningful. But up here, you can see these are much, Mrs. Jennings, Mrs. Dashwood, and Colonel Brandon, those are much more useful bigrams than the ones that were found when we did not remove stop words. And to run this code, because it's having to do a lot of work in creating all of these n-grams and searching through them, it'll take it a minute to run, but you'll see it'll like print out each of these chunks like one at a time, so you can kind of keep track of its progress. So I'll show you if I run all cells. And we'll do this opening part pretty quickly. And then if you look here, see it's going to print it out one part at a time. And it might take it a few minutes, but it should give you the right results. And as long as it says busy down here, then that means it's still working. And that is it for the Ngrams exercise. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either myself or Dr. Goldie.